Good morning, everyone. This is Heather here. It is Wednesday, January 26th, working on a watch list here. And wow, so this is the futures. Yesterday, we pushed down and ended up closing up off of the lows. It's still inside yesterday's candle. Today, we're coming in and pushing up. We do have some earnings out that are helping us make that move. And you're going to see some of these on the day trade list, but Microsoft being one of them. We had Boeing come out. They're actually down from their high. We have a lot of names now really moving around and getting ready to report. Be sure to check your earnings calendar. I actually post it in the market news channel, so you can always go there to see who's going to report when. And it's a pretty comprehensive list. There are the bigger names that are reporting. But this morning we had names like Anthem and Abbott, and today, after, we have quite a big list today and tomorrow, big list here. So XLNX is going to report after today as well. A lot of Intel, a lot of chip names, so we're going to have to watch and see what they say regarding the shortage and supply chain, things like that. So be sure to keep an eye on those names. If you're in something that could be affected by one of those other names, be sure to pay attention to that too. Okay, so moving on over here. Like I said, pushing back up. We are still on the futures. We are still below that 200. That is something to keep note of. And here's what we looked like yesterday on the SPY. Like I said, still below the 200. A super long like doji sitting on that inside candle. And this morning, you'll see that we are pushing up here, I think just off of some of these earnings that have come out that have beat. And today is FOMC, so I'm guessing the SPY is sitting just below the 200 right now, as a matter of fact. I'm guessing that we are going to have a really active first hour, and then it's going to be a snore fest. Because that just seems to be the way it is as we get closer to these earnings. Closer to the FOMC. We're all priced in for rate hikes, and so speaking of FOMC, let's take a look at some FOMC plays. So all of these are really day trades going into FOMC. XLF, you'll see I have a Bank of America, JPM, and then XLF is the other one here that I really like for today. So how I would play this is, because a lot of these names are actually already well on the move, I would take them as an ORB and then use the pre-market low here for a stop, or really rely on those hourly candles. If the hourly candle's staying green or closing green, right? So in the middle of that hour, it can move around a lot. But if it's closing green, stick with it. But I would probably be really cautious, though, holding it in the FOMC meeting. Like I said, the rate hike for March is priced in. I think we're all expecting that. So we'll see what else they say about the tapering, how many they think that they will do for hikes throughout the rest of the year. That's the news we're looking for. And inflation, right? How are they going to curb inflation? So XLF on the list here. I like this, and like I said, I would take it off of an ORB. But the ones I really like within that sector, I like WFC and I like BAC. I set up BAC here in the list, but WFC as well. They're very sensitive to interest rate hikes, so they should really move well with that news. We are just below the 50. That's where we closed yesterday, was just below the 50. We are above that. We're gapping up above that 50 here this morning. We're sitting above 46. So again, use an ORB and then maybe the pre-market low for a stop, or watch those hourly candles and keep it nice and tight. Right now, I am watching the 46s there in BAC. JPM is my next one here. So big. Oh, well, and I do like WFC. Let me just throw that chart up here as well. For WFC, I like the 55. So I would probably take these on a shorter time frame if you want, like the Februaries. If not, those March are still a good place to play. Gives you a little extra protection. WFC is above the 20. It's sitting right near the 8. Again, I would use an opening range break, and I like those 55s. And another bank name, JPM. So JPM, a little bit higher price. Those other two are pretty inexpensive. and reasonable. JPM, it has just been smacked pretty good, but nice days here anyway. This would have come up as an RSI2 trade, I believe, early yesterday, maybe even day before yesterday. I didn't look it up as an RSI2 trade. But moving on up here, like the look of this again off of an ORB, and JPM this morning is going to looks to gap up at the open. We're much closer to this 8. We're sitting at 148.59. So take a look at JPM. I'd watch the 150s. Again, opening range break, use those hourly candles and be cautious for when that, we get that volatility. The market swings violently one way, swings violently the other way, and then usually comes back to the initial move. So keep that in mind. Next sector I'm looking at, still looking at energy. Energy performed really well. All of the names in energy doing well. I think CVX reported this morning. So giving it a little bit extra of a bump. Let me see. Yeah, CVX is looking to, so Chevron is going to gap up. But you can play any of these other names or play the XLE. XLE, really like this. Right now we're sitting at 65.34. So this one is still just a smidge inside yesterday's candle. So I like it on a move through yesterday's high or an opening range break. And I like the 65s there in XLE. But like I said, there's a lot of really good names you can play off the earnings from CVX. I like VLO, right? We're working on the 3 today. The 3 looks like it'll cross up over the 8. So I would watch for confirmation. Energy names I'd be much more apt to hang on to as a swing trade. A day trade idea, I really like Foot Locker. I know we've talked about this, but look, huge candle, right? Ate up a bunch of price action back here. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days price action. Came in yesterday, took a little break. This is one of those candles, not quite a doji, but sitting just inside the top of this candle. We stayed above the 50. This morning we're moving on. Nice day trade possibility here in Foot Locker, and I'd watch those 45s. I'd use either a move through yesterday's high or an opening range break on that one. And I would be targeting 47.80. That would be my initial target there on FL. Okay, a few other names to watch. We've talked about these as well. Chewy coming up off the bottom. Another one of those, pretty decent sized candles sitting inside the top of it from yesterday. So I like that. Not really sure what's going on in JKS, but it's actually gapping up pretty big this morning. So TAN, T-A-N, that is the ETF. Actually, JKS is all the way up at the 200 right now, sitting just above it. The solar ETF, TAN, so maybe just looking for a downward trend break. Wouldn't stay too long until this confirms, but maybe draw a line in like this and looking for a break of that to the top side. But JKS, I don't know if maybe they had, no, they didn't have earnings. I don't know what the news is, and I didn't go look for it, but they are sitting up above the 200, room to the 50. So keep an eye on that. Again, for just a day trade. Amgen looks like a reversal getting ready to happen here in Amgen. And Microsoft, off of their earnings, they are sitting this morning. They were a little wicked last night, moving around, but they are looking to gap up. They are just above the 8. They're sitting at 303, so I'd watch those 300s and 305s. Again, day trades. Apple moving up nicely here this morning as well. They have earnings tomorrow, so keep that in mind for Apple. But again, day trade. And IBM actually holding in. Look if they had their earnings, and what a monster move. I did see some of the chat in here in Discord yesterday as I was out and then after the market closed. But wow, what a great move in IBM. So what we'd look for today is to maybe hang out inside the top of this candle and then another push on IBM, obviously an earnings winner. Okay, that is it for me this morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will be here all day this morning. I do have the drywall repair guy coming, so I will be, I'll probably miss all of pre-market, but then I will be on for the morning. Might be a little noisy, but hey, that's okay. All right, I will see you soon. Have a great day.